Hi there, I'm John Bryan. I'm 60 years old, and for over 35 years, I've had the privilege of walking alongside thousands of older adults, people like you, like my own parents, and yes, even like the version of me I'll meet in the years ahead as they navigate their health and well-being. At this age, I've come to realize something. Our bodies, they're a lot like a book. When we're young, the pages are fresh, the ink bold and clear, and we tend to flip through them quickly, rarely stopping to really read each line. But as we reach our 50s and 60s, those pages start to thin, the ink fades a little, and we have to slow down, take our time, because every single page feels more precious than ever. Today I want to talk to you about something important. A silent enemy I've seen far too many times in the ER. Each time it weighs heavy on my heart. It's stroke, the leading cause of death and disability among people over 60 here in the United States. The test mind be a price. I want you to picture this. It's a morning like any other. Sunlight slips through the window. Birds are singing in the garden. You try to sit up, but something feels off. One arm suddenly has no strength. You want to call out for help, but your voice, it comes out slurred, strange, unfamiliar. I've seen that moment, not once, but hundreds of times in over 3 decades as a doctor. And every time I can't help but think, if only they had known earlier. If only they'd recognized the warning signs. If only they'd taken steps to prevent it, things could have been so different. 7 stroke risks and warning signs you need to know. You know, stroke doesn't care who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a teacher, a factory worker, or someone retired and enjoying your golden years. It doesn't care how much you love your family or how many dreams you still hold close to your heart. I'll never forget one of my patients, Evelyn, 67 years old. Through tears, she once said to me, "I wish I had paid more attention." I thought the headaches, the tingling in my hands and feet, were just part of getting older. I didn't realize they were warning bells. Have you ever felt that way? A little numbness in your hand, a bit of dizziness, and you reassured yourself it's probably nothing? But here's the thing. Our bodies, they know how to whisper before they start to scream. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying it because I know you have people you love, and so many things left in this life to enjoy. And I want you to stay longer, healthier, so you can embrace all of it. Did you know that over 80% of strokes can be prevented? All it takes is recognizing the risks early and making a few small changes to your daily habits. Just a little could save an entire life. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 7 biggest stroke risks and the warning signs you and your loved ones absolutely need to know. Don't look away, because just one moment of hesitation could change everything. So, are you ready? Ready to take small but steady steps to protect yourself and the people you love? Then let's begin together. 1. High blood pressure, the silent killer. I want you to picture this. You're sitting in a doctor's office. A blood pressure cuff tightens around your arm. You can hear your heart beating slow, steady, but with a hint of tension. The machine beeps, and the numbers flash. 170/95. You flinch for a moment, but then you tell yourself, it's probably just stress today. I feel fine. Frank, a patient of mine, once said the very same thing. He was 68 years old, strong-build, loved his morning walks, never been hospitalized, never on medication. He'd occasionally mention mild headaches or a little fatigue after long afternoons working in his garden. Then, during a routine checkup, I saw his blood pressure, 170/95. I looked him straight in the eye and said, "Frank, this blood pressure is like a ticking time bomb inside you. It doesn't sound an alarm, but when it goes off, everything can change, forever." He chuckled, the confident smile of a man who thought he was immune to illness. "Doc, I still walk every day. I sleep well. I don't feel a thing." 2 months later, Frank had a stroke while walking in the park. He survived, but his speech never fully returned. His smile, now lopsided on one side, serves as a haunting reminder of what many people forget. High blood pressure doesn't hurt, but it's the silence that makes it so dangerous. You see, the blood vessels in your brain are a lot like the water pipes in an old house. Over the years, they endure more and more pressure, and little by little they start to crack, to wear down. If you don't check them regularly, if you don't ease that pressure, one day the pipe will burst. And when it does, that's when a stroke happens. I've seen too many cases like Frank. People didn't feel a thing. No pain, no discomfort, and that's exactly why they ignored it. Do you check your blood pressure regularly? I ask because so many of us only notice what's on the outside, the graying hair, the wrinkles on our skin, but few realize that inside, our blood vessels are aging too. And unlike hair or skin, the damage in your blood vessels can't be seen in the mirror. You won't feel pain, not until it's too late. I once had a patient, Clara, 72 years old. She checked her blood pressure every morning, like brushing her teeth. When I asked her why, she smiled and said, "I just want to hear what my body is telling me, doctor." And because of that, when her blood pressure started creeping up, she came to see me right away. We adjusted her diet, added a little exercise, and everything stabilized before it became a big problem. See, sometimes just one small action, like checking your blood pressure at home, can change your entire future. You don't need to be afraid. High blood pressure isn't a death sentence, it's a wake-up call. A reminder that it's time to take better care of your heart and your blood vessels. By checking blood pressure regularly, keeping it below 130/80, and living a healthier lifestyle, you can dramatically lower your risk of stroke.
I know, changing habits isn't easy, but ask yourself, do you want to enjoy your golden years surrounded by your grandchildren or confined to a hospital bed? Do you want to hear laughter or struggle to speak because half your body no longer responds? That decision is one you can make today.
Taking care of your health isn't a sprint. It's a series of slow, steady steps, day by day. And I'm here to remind you, don't wait for your body to scream. Start listening to the whispers. 2. Heart disease when your heart skips a beat. Have you ever felt your heart beat strangely? I'm not talking about the quickened pace of meeting your first love, but that odd, unsettling sensation when your heart stumbles, flutters, or skips a beat entirely. I once asked a patient, Richard, 72 years old, about this. He frowned for a moment, then gave me a faint, uneasy smile. Sometimes I do feel my heart acting a little weird, but it's probably just too much coffee, doc. I nodded, but deep down my heart sank. I knew what he was feeling likely had nothing to do with coffee and everything to do with something far more serious, atrial fibrillation. Atrial fibrillation, or AFib, is when your heart no longer beats with the steady rhythm of a Swiss watch. Instead, it becomes erratic, chaotic, and sometimes that chaos allows blood clots to form. Silent wanderers that can drift into the brain and block blood flow completely. Did you know people with atrial fibrillation are 5 times more likely to have a stroke than those without it? The tragedy is most don't even realize their heart has lost its rhythm. Richard didn't either. 3 months after that appointment, he was rushed to the emergency room. A blood clot from his heart had traveled to his brain. He survived the stroke, but his memories of his wife, his children, his friends, they became hazy, like old photographs fading with time. When I visited him in the hospital, he took my hand, his voice hoarse. "I wish I'd listened to you sooner, doc." Have you ever felt something like that, a strange flutter, a sudden unexplained pounding in your chest? Have you ever placed your hand over your heart and wondered, is my heart still as strong as I think it is? The heart is the conductor of your entire body, and when it falls out of rhythm, the whole orchestra begins to sound chaotic. The good news is, with today's medical advances, it's easier than ever to check your heart's rhythm. From a simple checkup at your doctor's office to smart devices you can wear on your wrist that monitor your heartbeat daily. And if atrial fibrillation is detected early, we can treat it. We can use blood thinners to prevent dangerous clots from forming. Just one small step, but it could save an entire life. You don't need to worry, but you do need to care. Your heart has beaten billions of times to get you here, to this very moment. At this stage of life, it deserves your attention. Talk to your doctor about your heart's rhythm. Let them check, and make sure your heart remains the trusted conductor for all the years still ahead. You know, the heart never truly grows old when it's filled with love and care. And taking care of your heart, that's your way of telling your loved ones, I want to stay a little longer to love you even more. 3. Diabetes. sweet today, bitter tomorrow. I know, we all love the little sweet things in life, a cookie in the afternoon, a creamy latte to start the day, or a slice of birthday cake with your grandchild. These small joys often bring us happiness, but have you ever wondered, could the sweetness of today leave behind a bitter consequence tomorrow? I still remember Margaret, 72 years old, her silver hair framing a face with eyes that seemed to smile even before her lips did. She came to see me during a routine checkup. When I told her that her blood sugar was slightly high, 165 milligrams decile, she chuckled and waved it off. "Oh, doctor, I'm old now. Let me have a little joy in my food." I understood. I've heard my own mother say the same thing. But then, 3 years later, Margaret had a stroke. A blood clot, formed in a vessel damaged by high blood sugar, had traveled to her brain and blocked the flow of life. High blood sugar isn't just a number on a screen. It silently damages the tiniest blood vessels throughout your body, your eyes, your kidneys, even the delicate pathways in your brain. And these injuries, they don't happen all at once. They build up, slowly, quietly, layer by layer, until one day a plaque forms, a dangerous fragment that can drift to your brain and steal your ability to speak, to walk, even to hold on to your most precious memories. Did you know over 25% of Americans over the age of 65 have diabetes, and many don't even realize it until complications appear? Our bodies do try to warn us. Slow healing wound, constant thirst, lingering fatigue. But in the rush of daily life, it's easy to ignore those whispers. Have you ever felt a slight tingling in your toes? Or had your vision blur for just a moment? Don't dismiss it as just part of getting older. It could be your body's way of saying, please, pay attention. The good news is you don't have to give up every sweet little joy to protect your health. I'm not saying you can never have cake again or never enjoy a creamy latte, but think about balance, a sensible diet, a bit of light exercise each day, and regular blood sugar checks. Small changes you make today could keep you far away from a hospital bed tomorrow. Ask yourself this: do you want your years ahead to be filled with your grandchildren's laughter or the sound of a ventilator in an ICU? Taking care of your health isn't about giving up happiness. It's about holding on to those little joys longer and more fully. So today, are you ready to check your blood sugar? Take a 15-minute walk or choose one healthier meal? You don't have to make these changes alone. Let your family, your doctor, and even me walk this journey with you. 4. Atherosclerosis, the roads that get blocked. Have you ever been stuck in traffic on a narrow road? The blaring of car horns, the endless line of vehicles, and all you can think about is finding a way out, a clear, open path ahead. Our bodies have roads too, the intricate network of blood vessels carrying life to every corner of us. But when these roads narrow, there are no honking horns, no traffic police to warn us. Everything happens quietly until the flow of blood is completely stopped. Atherosclerosis, the name may sound unfamiliar, but it's a silent process that often begins years, even decades, before we ever notice it. I once cared for a man named Michael, 74 years old. A former mechanic, his hands were calloused, his eyes steady and strong. He looked at me and said, "Doc, I don't smoke. I don't drink. I walk every single day. How could I have a stroke?" We ran tests, and the results showed his arteries had narrowed by over 70% because of atherosclerosis. Decades of cholesterol buildup had slowly, quietly choked the pathways carrying blood to his brain. You see, atherosclerosis doesn't cause pain right away. It doesn't make you collapse suddenly one morning. It's like tiny cracks forming in a dam, little by little, until one day the water bursts through and destroys everything in its path. And when that happens in your body, we call it a stroke. Have you ever had your cholesterol checked? Do you even know what your numbers are? Cholesterol isn't the enemy. It's an essential part of building cells and producing hormones. But when there's too much of it, it turns into clutter sticking to your artery walls. And when that clutter builds up, the roads inside your body start to close down. The good news is, you can clear those roads. Not with some magic broomstick, but with the choices you make every single day. Add more greens, fruits, and healthy fats like fish to your meals. Cut back on fried foods, sweets, and those snack bags we love to reach for during TV time. And don't forget to move. Just 30 minutes of walking each day is enough to make your heart and arteries smile. Our bodies are masterpieces, and like every masterpiece, they deserve to be cared for. Do you want the roads in your body to stay wide open and smooth so your heart pumps with ease, your brain gets all the oxygen it needs, and your legs carry you through peaceful walks with your loved ones? Or will you let those roads narrow, bit by bit, hour by hour? That decision is in your hands. You deserve clear, open pathways so your heart can beat freely, your mind stays sharp, and your steps feel light as you stroll with the people you love. Start today with one healthy meal and one first step. I know you can do it. 5. Smoking and drinking. Two toxic old friends. Have you ever wondered why the things that once brought us comfort can also turn out to be our most dangerous betrayers? Smoking and drinking, two old friends, as many people like to call them. We reach for a cigarette to ease the stress, a glass of wine to unwind after a long day. But you know, those friends have taken far too much from the people I've cared about. I remember Charles, 70 years old, a man with a big laugh and a love for telling jokes at the cafe. During a checkup, he said to me with a smile, "I only smoke a few cigarettes a day and have a little drink on the weekends, Doc. I feel fine." But his body didn't agree. Years of inhaling thousands of toxic chemicals from cigarettes had silently hardened and narrowed his arteries. Those quiet sips of alcohol, they had slowly worn down his liver, his heart, his brain. One afternoon while playing chess with a friend, Charles suffered a stroke. Half of his body no longer moved. And when I visited him in the hospital, he looked at me, his eyes heavy with regret. "I wish I'd quit smoking and drinking sooner, John." I'm not telling you this story to scare you. I'm telling it because I know so many people have been like Charles, believing that just one cigarette or a glass of wine couldn't possibly hurt. But you know what? Just 5 minutes after smoking, your blood pressure and heart rate start to climb. Your blood vessels constrict. The oxygen in your blood begins to drop. And with alcohol, even small amounts can raise your risk of atrial fibrillation, that silent troublemaker behind so many unexpected strokes. Maybe you're thinking, but I've smoked and drank my whole life. Is there even any point in changing now? The good news is, it's never too late. 1 year after quitting smoking, your risk of stroke drops by nearly half. And if you cut back on alcohol, even down to just one small drink a week, your heart and your arteries will thank you. We saw a man 65 years old quit smoking after 40 years of addiction. When I asked him why, he said, "Doc, I'm doing this because I want to be at my granddaughter's wedding." And he did it. He stood at the edge of that aisle, arm in arm with his granddaughter, healthy and smiling. What about you? Do you want the strength to hold your loved one's hand, to hear the laughter of your grandchildren? Or will you let those toxic friends steal those moments from you? I'm not asking you to be perfect overnight, but every day you smoke one less cigarette, every week you drink one less glass, is a step closer to a healthier future. You deserve that, and so do the people who love you. A6. Overweight, more than just appearance. There's something I hear from many older adults whenever we talk about weight. "Doc, I'm old now. Why should I care about how I look, as long as I feel okay?" And I get it. At this stage of life, we're no longer obsessed with the numbers on the scale the way we were in our younger years. But what I'm about to tell you has nothing to do with fitting into a smaller pair of pants or looking good in photos. It's about your heart. It's about your legs. And it's about every single breath you take. Think of your body like a car. Every extra kilogram of fat is like added luggage weighing it down. The engine has to work harder, the brakes wear out faster, and the road ahead gets shorter. Being overweight doesn't just strain your knees and back. It forces your heart to pump harder to deliver blood to every cell. Blood pressure rises, blood sugar becomes harder to control, and plaques build up in your arteries faster. I once met Helen, 66 years old. She came into my office with tired eyes and a heavy voice. "Doctor, I just want to be strong enough to walk with my granddaughter in the evenings, but I get so tired." Climbing just a few steps makes my heart pound like a drum. We ran some tests and found her BMI was above the healthy range. Her blood sugar and cholesterol were also out of balance. But here's the wonderful part. She didn't give up. Together, we built a simple plan. Walk 10 minutes every day, choose healthier meals, cut out the sodas. 6 months later, she came back with a glowing smile. I've lost 6 kilos, and now I can walk with my granddaughter without running out of breath. You see, sometimes it only takes one small step, one tiny change, to make a big difference. Did you know that losing just 5% of your body weight can do wonders for your heart and blood vessels? It helps stabilize your blood pressure, makes it easier to manage your blood sugar, and dramatically lowers your risk of stroke. I'm not asking you to become an athlete. I'm not asking you to go on strict diets. I'm simply asking you to start with small, doable things. Walk around your home for 10 minutes. Swap one greasy dinner for a meal rich in greens. And most importantly, be patient with yourself. You know, growing older isn't a time to give up. It's the time to love your body even more, so that every morning when you wake up, you're not out of breath after a few steps. You're not afraid of the number on the scale. You just feel light, free. You deserve that, and you can start today. 7. Stress and depression, the invisible burdens. There's something just as dangerous as high cholesterol or high blood pressure, but far harder to detect. It doesn't show up on blood tests. There's no specific number to monitor. And sometimes, even the person carrying it doesn't realize it's there. I'm talking about stress and depression, the invisible burdens. I remember Peter, 69 years old, a man who had always been the rock of his family, strong and confident, but after retiring, he began struggling with sleepless nights. He became irritable, withdrawn. The things that once brought him joy, fishing, tending his garden, meeting up with friends, no longer seemed to matter. One morning, as he sat down for breakfast, he felt dizzy. His right hand grew weak. A few hours later, he was lying in a hospital bed, the victim of a stroke. You know, stress increases cortisol levels. The hormone that raises your blood pressure and blood sugar makes your heart race, and over time, silently damages your blood vessels. Depression is even quieter. It makes you neglect your health, eat irregularly, avoid movement, all of which create fertile ground for a stroke to take hold. But sadly, so many of us, especially those who've always been strong, tend to say, I'm just a little tired, it's nothing. Or worse, I don't want to bother my children with this. But I want you to know, you are not weak for saying you need help. In fact, it's a sign of strength and courage. Talk to someone, a friend, a loved one, or your doctor. Find activities that bring you joy. Take a walk outdoors, read a good book, try meditation, or simply sit with your grandchildren and listen to their little stories. Your body and your mind both deserve care. A healthy mind, it keeps your heart strong, and a strong heart protects your mind. You deserve to feel joy, you deserve peace, and you deserve to live every moment fully. Don't let stress or depression take that away from you. Ask yourself, have I been caring for my mind as well as I care for my body? Because sometimes, a healthy heart begins with a simple smile. You don't have to fight this alone. Let your family, your friends, and yes, even us, your doctors, walk beside you. And remember, every smile, every moment of peace you find today is a precious gift for your heart and your mind tomorrow. Warning signs: don't ignore your body's signals. There's one thing I've learned after more than 35 years as a doctor. Our bodies know how to whisper before they start to scream. Survivors of stroke have often told me they felt something strange beforehand, but they brushed it off thinking, it's just old age, a little numbness in the hand, a slight slur in their speech, a sudden severe headache. But you know what? Those weren't nothing. They were the final warnings. I want you to remember one word: fast. It's not just a reminder to act quickly, it's an acronym for the 4 critical signs. F, face. One side of the face droops when smiling. A, arm. One arm becomes weak and can't be raised. S, speech. Speech suddenly becomes slurred, strange, or hard to understand. T, time. Call 911 immediately. With a stroke, time is brain. Every passing minute, nearly 2 million brain cells die. The sooner you get to the hospital, the better your chance of recovery. Do you know one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever heard from a patient's family? They said, "We thought he was just tired, so we let him rest. By the time we realized it was too late." I don't want you or your family to ever have to say those words. You see, this life is precious. A smile, a hug, a quiet afternoon with the people you love, these are worth protecting. Listen to your body. Take even the smallest signals seriously and act when you need to. You won't just be saving yourself, you'll be saving the happiness of your entire family. Today, I don't just want you to watch a video, I want you to take action. Check your blood pressure, monitor your blood sugar, pay attention to your heartbeat, and remember fast. Face, arm, speech, time. You don't have to do it alone. Your family, your doctor, and even we're here to walk this journey with you. You deserve to live your remaining years fully, to keep hearing your grandchildren's laughter, to feel the warmth of sunny days, to love and be loved. Start today. One small step could save an entire life. If this video has touched your heart, please share it. One simple click today could save someone's life tomorrow. And don't forget to hit subscribe so we can meet here each week as friends, caring for each other's health.